You're back for another story time, aren't you? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Dumelang, hello, hi. Welcome and welcome back to Thrive Out Loud. I hope the excitement spreads all the way from my heart to yours because we're together. Anyway, getting into today's business of the day. For starters, house rules in here. We like, we comment, we subscribe, we click on the bell notification, and we tell a friend to tell another friend to bring some popcorn. Let's get into it. Okay. I'm hoping by now you have seen the last couple of story times that I had about the odd relationship, the odd situationship I had with my mother. If you haven't, I will link it somewhere. Like here, or there. I'll find somewhere to link it. Yeah, obviously we're now picking up from where we left off. So at this point, it is now 2022 and it has been about it has been about 6 years since my mother and I last spoke, since our last encounter, which I touched briefly on in my previous video. But just to give you an overview or a clearer background of what had happened. Get cozy. Right? So by this point, we now have a basic understanding of the type of person my mother is and the type of person I am or I was, right? So this dates back to 2016. I had just started my internship. I'm now working in Randburg and, living in Randburg as well. So as an intern, if anyone has ever been an intern, specifically for an engineering company, then you will know that when are your project management, when are your design, when are your admin, when are your bona, you are in every single department, right? And as much as I was fortunate enough to have been afforded this opportunity in a company that was doing really well, it meant the company is doing really well. So there's actually a lot to do, right? So I remember then there was a time when we got quite a lot of projects, like all at once, which is great news. All at once we got projects, and it was nice, it was lovely. But as an intern, then that meant a lot to do. I feel like once you've established your career, to say I'm a design technician or I'm a structural engineer or I'm a project manager, your scope of work is kind of cute. It looks cute, it's all bundled up, you know what you need to do. But as an intern, you're still finding your footing, you're still riding the way, finding what you like, what you don't like, but you're basically doing everything, right? So I remember that we coincided with the school holidays, right? So my baby brother's schools were closing or closed somewhere there, and he was gonna travel to my uncle's place for the winter holidays, where he was gonna be with like one of our cousins around his age group or somewhere there, right? So baby girl was going to send him through with a taxi, I believe, and she needed, I think, a luggage bag or something along those lines. But she basically needed me to go meet with him at my uncle's house and go give him something, right? But it coincided with that week that I had mentioned before, to say it was a very hectic week. And I was getting to work at 7 o'clock, and by that time things were tricky, so I was leaving much later, and I lived like 2 minutes from our workplace, so there was no reason to rush anyway, right? Because I was on phone call the Sunday before that, I went to the mall with my roommates, but like not the mall that was next door to our apartment building. Like we went to Cresta, right? And then we went there, we kind of spent the whole day there. We were not in a hurry, just getting this, that. We normally did our shopping together, because if we live together, it makes things easier to say, okay, this is what we're putting into our basket and this is what we expect to come out, right? Then that's when I got the call to say, your baby brother's at your uncle's house, please make time to go see him. I was like, okay, great, no problem. And now my uncle lives in like Centurion, right one, and I live all the way in Randburg. I remember getting on a taxi from my place to his place. I think I used like 2 to 3 taxis somewhere there, but it's not a thing you can now do like Sunday afternoon ka 5. It's not like going from Vanderbilt to Vereeniging. You can't just, you kind of need planning. And the next Monday is when the projects landed. Okay, now it's falling into place. Stick with me, right? So then she calls me on Monday when I'm now at the gym. Or was it Thursday? Not even the Monday. On Thursday, my story is not adding up. But stick with me. Stick with me. So the week goes on, and that entire week I'm knocking off later than I normally do, but I made sure that I go to the gym. So I'd knock off, go straight to the gym, because it's just, yeah, even if I was going when it was already dark, I didn't really mind, right? Thursday, a call comes from my mom, and she's already less than pleased with whatever. Like, she's already, I can just sense an episode coming, because by now I have 20 years of experience with this woman. I mean, so she asked me, have you gone to see your baby brother? I'm like, no, I didn't get a chance. And as I'm trying to, and she cuts me off on some,
oh, so now you're a Joa girl and...
What do you even mean? What do you mean?
So now you're a Joa girl, so now you're not even gonna go see your baby brother because now you're so busy living life.
Baby girl, which life? Which life? My life rotated between work, gym, home, repeat, you know, in that order. And it felt like an attack, you know. Then obviously she ran her mouth, and then she hung up on me. Toot! I drop her phone, baby girl. Then, okay, then I felt the need to explain myself, because I couldn't get the words out. And mind you, I'm not confrontative. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. So if I'm trying to love you and you're busy just, you know, cutting me off, and then I kind of become powerless. I just let you do your thing, right? So I felt the need to explain myself. Get how I'm dropping my mom a text to say, you know, hi mom, you know, this is what happened. You know, there are 3 new projects at work and I'm very overwhelmed. I'm not coping, and you know, things are just not balancing right now. It's not that I don't want to go see him. I was planning to go weekend when I actually have time, like on the Saturday, when I actually have, you know, a whole day to be in taxis and get to where I am going. And it hurts when you suggest things like, I hate my brother, or I feel like I'm too good for you guys, or, you know, things like that are hurtful, because those are not my intentions. I sent that message with good intentions, with pure intentions of, you know, of clearing a misunderstanding, to say, no, it's not like that. Yeah. Baby girl snapped. So nearly Thursday night, and by now my mom was the girl, you know, the girl that she thinks she is, a city moms. So by the Thursday night, she would go out with her friends, with the happy vibes, with the shampoo, you know, city moms are up sharp. So I'm assuming she saw my message the next morning. The next morning I woke up as normal. I went to work. Shortly after I got to work, then here's a bomb in my WhatsApp. Douche. Here's a bomb in my WhatsApp. Even I opened the WhatsApp and my mom is just, she's on fire. She's on fire. Ooh, I'll attach it somewhere here if I can still find it. But yo, she was on some, if you don't want to speak to me, you must say so. Like, she was saying some of it in vernac, but you know, just directly translating. She's saying, if you don't want to speak to me, you must say so. You know, this world does not revolve around you. I'm so sick and tired of your sensitive ass. I'm so sick and tired of you just always getting overly emotional. I'm sick and tired of your feelings. The world does not belong to you. What about like and basically one of the things she said in that message, then she said, no one will ever love you like I do, because I'm assuming my mother assumed that I was, you know, a bad bee. She assumed that I was the city girl. That time,
The city doesn't even know me.
I literally have only 3 places I go to and nowhere else. So I'm guessing, based on her experience with how she was when she was my age, she assumed and judged based off an assumption. And she basically called me out on how those people you keep running around with, they don't love you. They only want to use you. No one will ever love you. I'm the only one who ever love you. Nah. And in my mind, I'm
Like, baby girl, your love is painful. Your love is confusing. Your love is weird. And if that is what you call love, then I'm not sure I want it.
So then there was the fallout. And because I've always been this girl, I didn't respond to that message. I figured we are having 2 completely different discussions, and I figured, no, my mom would come down and, you know, we would just pick up from nowhere, the way we normally do. Like, normally after an explosion, there won't be an apology, there won't be a discussion about it. We'll just pick up from, I don't know, from somewhere, just from the air. We'll pick up somewhere, you know. Yeah, okay, obviously I'm hurt. I'm in my feelings as well. I remember going to my HOD at that point, like my line manager, and I sent her the message, and I was discombobulated. I was just, it was just tears everywhere, waterworks everywhere. I couldn't believe it. And then I was given the rest of the day off because I was obviously, like, I was in a state. I was in quite a state, and yeah, then that led to, baby girl undergoing counseling, because how am I supposed to survive if I'm, then that's where I got to learn a little bit about myself, about how I had learned how to cope with situations and stuff. So that's where I got to learn a bit more about me. I'd highly recommend therapy. Go, don't wait for an explosion, just go. So yeah, then that was the explosion that happened, and that was that. There's never anything, Then jiki, I'm blocked everywhere, because that was 2016, and I was completing my internship, and things were going well. You want to be updating your mom to say, yeah, I'll be graduating when, excuse me, and then you realize you're blocked, you're removed everywhere. You send, there's not even a tick to your message. Then this is tricky, most. This is highly tricky, highly tricky situations. But then that was that, and 1 week passed, a month passed, then there's just silence and crickets. Then the next year, 2017, I was now going to graduate, and before that, no man, tricky situations. Then I think later on in that year, somehow my dad tracked me down. So my dad had this habit of going to my Facebook page or my Facebook profile and downloading all the recent pictures he can see, like he can find of me, and then going to WhatsApp, because I could they were lovers, they have each other's numbers and they view one another's statuses. I'm not there, I'm not involved, right? So he would do this thing where he basically takes everything on Facebook, and he's going to have a slideshow there by WhatsApp, right? Now, because my mom no longer has access to me and my social media and stuff, she thinks, then these are pictures of maybe when I was with my dad, or pictures that I personally sent to my dad. And so after the explosive event we had, the next communication is about,
I'm so glad you found your dad. Good luck.
Wara, like a whole message filled, just a whole petty message. Petty Wop. If Petty Wop was a woman, it's my mom. It's my mother. It's my mother. Because, right? So at that point, when I received her message, I was not in any sort of contact with my dad, and I had no idea who she was talking about. B, I had had quite a couple of dads by that point.
Who are you talking about? Which one? Which one are you talking about?
C, there's an elephant, a hippo, and what's that other big animal? And a rhino in the room. There's like, read the room, Scaro.
There's like the big five in the room.
And you're going to skip to this. Now, obviously, she's hacked, right? So her chat has always been that your dad is a good for nothing, dude, and he hasn't been helping me with anything, and now he's just gonna come back and just gonna play happy family. I don't know if I was supposed to be mad at him because of what you feel like was injustice on your part or his part. I don't know what my part was in that, and I'm not participating in it. I wasn't there, right? So now here's a message: I'm so glad you found your dad, like, all the best, good luck, and what are you talking about? Then I think a week later, then I received a call from an unknown number, and it happened to be like my biological father, not any of these other ones. He's like, hey, how are you? And then I saved his number, and then that's when I saw the WhatsApp slideshow. I'm like, oh, I see with my eyes, I see. But obviously then we arranged to have a sit down and meet, and we sat and we spoke, and that was the first time in my life that I got to hear my dad's side of the story, because I was never allowed to be alone with him. I was never allowed to to go see him, to visit his family, him seeing me, none of that. And since like during the last part of my high school, during the last part of my school years, I was living with my mother. That was unimaginable. It was a taboo. So now I get to hear this man's side of the story, and turns out this man has been supporting me all along. But because baby girl was with, I'd say, a rich guy, she was basically, you know, just spitting on all of that and pretending like it's not happening. And it, but it's their politics. Honestly, I just chose to take an unbiased position in all of this because I am the creation of what you guys did. If anything, I'm not involved in your politics. Then my dad and I began to kind of, you know, build a relationship. I'm trying to get to know this guy, and baby girl is mad on the other side. She keeps, you know, spewing fire, and I'm not having it. You know, I'm just at that point. There wasn't any more damage she could do. Like it couldn't get any worse than what I had gone through already. So then graduation comes. I know I graduated April of 2017, and even though I'm blocked everywhere, I made the means to try and get hold of her to say I'll be graduating on this and this day, and left it at that. No response. She didn't attend, and yeah, it was a bit of a bummer, but we move. What am I supposed to say? Then okay. Then we moved, and in that whole entire time, my dad also didn't show up. So I was like,
Hey, these ones, they deserve one another, to be quite honest, because how?
Then I think it could have been the following year in September, she was getting married. And she told me she's getting married to the guy she was with from there at that other point, like like my baby brother's dad, not the ones in between. She was getting married to that guy. And shame, I went to the whatever it was, the celebration or something like that. And did this girl not say,
I see you graduated.
so spitefully, like, I see you graduated, so I can see when I was taking you to school, it was not for nothing.
Baby girl, don't even get me started, because what do you even mean? What do you even mean? I invited you, I called you, and I let you know, and you chose not to come. What do you, a year and a half later, what do you even, don't even.
So I just looked at her blankly because I'm enraged, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, okay? I've meditated way too much, and I'm not about to ruin my chakras. I'm not about to ruin my energy and my aura because of you. So I just looked at her and, you know, left to say, what is this? What nonsense is this one now? So yeah, then I left it at that. And then when it was now time for them to get dressed, then I saw there's a whole matching outfits between her husband, and their son. And then I'm imagining how there's an aunt who kept trying to force me to come and like get into the mood of the whole day, like trying to, you know, get me to, like, you know, take pictures and stuff. And I'm thinking the pictures wouldn't have made sense. So you basically just wanted to make a mockery out of me. You just wanted to make a popeye out of me because these ones are matching and Mina, I look like an orphan. You just wanted me to be a haha of the day. And you know, some family members, the things they do will never really make sense, but so this was just to highlight on, you know, the tipping point in our relationship with my mom. That's where things went completely sour for good. It's been about 6 years now, like I said, and she doesn't know my child. She doesn't know where I live. She doesn't know my car. She doesn't like the basics. Like doesn't know anything about me at all. And she looks like she's thriving and flourishing. What can I say to that, you know? So it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Thrive Out Loud. And as you can already tell, we are now uncovering the uncomfortable conversations we normally shy away from. But just to remind you about the house rules in here, we like, we comment, we subscribe, we click on the bell notification, we tell a friend to tell another friend to bring some popcorn because it is cozy in here. See you next time. Bye.